over Marvel Comics' Deadpool.
And Matt Farah built his dream car at the SEMA Auto Show. Nice.
What would your dream car be?
I hate to tell you this, but I already have all my dream cars.
Of course.
Sorry,
he does.
guys.
Who am I hosting with this week?
Yeah.
Okay, well, what is your favorite of your dream cars?
Let's put it this way. I have about 10 cars, and the cars that I have are all kind of cars that everybody can, you know, afford. They're not ones that are outrageously priced.
Okay.
But I like, for instance, today, you want to know what I'm driving today?
Yes, please tell me.
I'm driving my muscled-up Buick LaCrosse that's all bling and pimped out. It's got the Landau top.
You're driving a pimp car?
I'm driving a pimp car. It's got the gold and white wheels. It's got all the logos on it are all gold. Nice. Yeah.
Up.
Yeah, totally. And it's beautiful. It's pimped
Are
out.
all of your cars like that? Just like crazy different?
No, well, some of my cars are different. I had a DeLorean, a mint-condition DeLorean.
That's cool. That's really cool.
And what else have I got? It's like one of my favorites is my 1982 Mercedes SL convertible, which is in mint condition. I just had that refurbed.
Nice.
So I'm a bit of a car buff myself. Yeah.
Okay.
Boys, come over to my house and you can drive my cars. That's not all you can drive.
Okay. I was gonna say all I want.
What's your car?
I want an Audi Q5 or Q7 SUV. I really like the car, silver or white. I don't know. I don't care. Probably silver.
Boring.
It's not boring. It is a great car. I have test driven it and I really want it. I just need to save money and have another job coming up.
What? Wait a minute.
Yeah, do another job. More jobs.
Hold on. I mean, Audis, they're like, you know, they're nice cars, but everybody drives them. Don't you want to be slightly off the wall a little bit?
No, I don't need to. I'm call me boring, I don't know, but I really like Audis. I think it's a practical car. It's a very nice car. It's not too crazy out there. It's not too crazy expensive.
Oi, Audi execs, send her an Audi.
Yes!
Send her an Audi.
I'm gonna need one. Let's run down the top things on the web.
All right, we're going around the net. In honor of Election Day, we bring you one of our favorite clips from the 2008 campaign.
Here is John McCain, slightly adjusted to look like one of Batman's biggest foes.
How about Sarah Palin last night, huh? How about her? Huh? How about the job she did? Huh?
Yeah! How about that, Sarah Palin? Huh? How did that turn out?
Okay, you know what time it is?
What?
It's time for a penguin off contest.
Oh,
We didn't have this planned at all.
Nice. Okay, you all in the studio, it's Election Day, you have to vote. Here we go. Ha! Ha!
Ha! Ha! How about that Sarah Palin? Ha!
Ha!
It's not even getting close-ups of me. They just want you to win in the booth. They're just focusing on you. Mine puffs too.
Go on.
Yeah?
We've never done that before.
Who wins?
Who wins? Yes!
Nice catch. Why do y'all hate me so much? I try so hard at these things. They're always my idea, and I never win. Y'all don't make me cry.
Oh, boo. Maybe if you drive something other than an Audi.
That's so weird. Oh, my hair's all messed up. Let me fix this. Okay. Up next, the point of free running is to run free, but maybe not this free.
Well, some people say it's better without teeth.
People really say parkour is better without teeth? Why?
Just saying.
It's so crazy. Never heard that before. Next, stairs are dangerous enough without adding a skateboard to the mix. It's so
Yes, physics engine. Hashtag natural selection.
I don't even understand how you can skate in those skinny jeans.
Clearly you don't.
Because he did it.
Yeah, he did it.
I get it. And now, did you think you'd only get one parkour video today? Yeah. Well, shame on you. We've got two. That hurts my back just looking at it.
Ow. He was just trying to find extra coins down that pipe.
Since parkour is French, I'll simply say this. Écoutez, et répétez les grands derrière. Did I do good?
Yeah, I apologize to all of our fans watching online in France.
That was so much better than the first time. I'm like, I kutai.
Yeah.
I did it good.
Yeah. Everyone, she wins this one, doesn't she?
Les grands derrière. Thank you. Thank you very much. I should go over to France now.
Très bon, mademoiselle.
What does that mean?
Never mind.
Oh, okay. And finally, none of us are perfect. Especially not this guy.
No, yeah. This clip is from a car show I did back in 2009 called Fifth Gear, and things did not go well.
Keep it straight and braking immediately. Hard braking, Right, God, we're all John, that's what you call a crash, I think. Would you like to comment at all on
I never thought I'd say this, but Tiffany Dell has just been rolled in the hay by John Barrowman.
You got in a wreck.
I did.
Why don't you tell us about this little situation of yours?
I went to, I was doing rally racing because I like to race cars, and I went to this place to do it, to film the TV show, and they said to me, Mr. Barrowman, John, would you like to, be interested in buying the rally car? It's like, it was about 150,000 pounds, about $200,000. And I said, no, I'll see how it drives.
And then you wrecked it.
I wrecked it, climbed out of the car. I walked past the guy who ran the place, and I went, buy it from you now for 15 thou.
Were they pissed?
They were, I think they were a little upset. Maybe.
Did they have insurance?
What, the show? I don't know, because the show was canceled a couple of months later.
You canceled the show! They couldn't afford it because you wrecked the car.
No, well, not my bad.
No, that is what you call your bad.
Well,
but a very good, funny one.
My bad, but good TV.
Yeah. Thanks a bunch. Internet videos couldn't have done it without you. Or you.
Yep, still ahead, we pull out an AOTS classic just in time for the election. The folks behind The Onion join us to find out what happens when people think fake news is real.
Uh-oh. And later, the new writer of Marvel's Deadpool is here live. Stay tuned for Brian Posehn, everybody. This portion of Attack of the Show is brought to you by Sony.
In honor of the election and all the crazy news we're destined to hear over the next 12 hours, here's a classic chat with the folks behind The Onion about the fine line between news fact and hilarious news fiction.
Joining me now, two writers for The Onion, whose new book, The Onion Book of Knowledge, hits stores October 23rd. Please welcome Seth Reese and Will Tracy.
Hello, Attack of the Show. Hello.
Hello and welcome. Now
Hello.
we were just talking about people in Iran and Florida confusing your satirical pieces for real news. What's it like around the offices when that happens? Is it just high fives all around?
Well, it's happened enough at this point that we're not really surprised anymore.
Right.
Although it is surprising that in a sense, it's surprising that it keeps happening because you think that, like, by this point, people are aware of what The Onion is.
Right.
And also, typically, you would think that before they print something in a newspaper or a website, they might Google The Onion.
Yeah.
Maybe learn something about the source that they're quoting.
Yeah.
So, in that sense, it's surprising.
Right.
Also, we will say we do love the Iranian media.
Sure.
The FARS media agency is our colleague. We appreciate everything they do. We love censorship, and we're happy with the work they do.
We support them ideologically and politically.
Yeah.
And religiously.
Oh, certainly. Well, it seems more like now, in the early days of The Onion, people who tended to get things like The Onion would read it and then forward it to other people who they trusted to get The Onion. Now things get uploaded to Facebook and stuff, and so your Aunt Joyce sees it and thinks it's real. So, I mean, have you... Go ahead.
My Aunt Joyce is very perceptive, Dave.
Well.
She's a very smart woman.
My Aunt Joyce is severely mentally ill.
Okay.
So our Aunt Joyces are very different.
But you're correct. There's certainly a wider net out there. So there's a lot more. The Onion's motto is "Tu stultus," which means you are dumb. So there are a lot of dummies out there reading us again.
Well,
but hey, enjoy it. I hope they love it.
A lot of dummies who are not conversant in Latin, who might not get the motto.
That's true.
What's the process?
We are both fully fluent in Latin.
Of course, of course. It's a great language to know. What's the process of coming up with a good headline? Do you do it together? Do you take time on your own? What do you do?
Well, we go to this website, funnyonionjokes.com. It's like a subscription service.
Great.
You pay like $20 a month, and they have really good Onion headlines there.
Or for the writers at the office, who can't afford that, and there are many, we're constantly in headline mode, thinking of headlines, walking down the street thinking of headlines, and we pitch them in our big staff meetings, and the good ones, hopefully the good ones get in.
Do you have any favorites?
Yes, mine is, you can tell. Oh, what is it? Oh man, you can tell Old Bank used to be
a Taco Bell.
Area Bank.
You can tell Area Bank used to be Pizza Hut. That's it.
That's right. Oh, I remember that. That's a good pull. That's a vintage one. I remember that.
That was certainly well before my time, but that does something that The Onion does so well, and I just love it.
Oh, it's fantastic. Will, you got one?
My one that I love is Middle East conflict intensifies as blah blah blah, etc., etc.
Also perfect. Also perfect. Mine is nation's dog owners demand to know who's a good boy.
Yes, that's a great one. I agree.
Perfection.
It's a personal favorite as well.
Perfection. So it seems like now also you have a lot more competition. You got Twitter. You got people kind of generating their own very quick little jokes.
Dave, I just want to stop you right there. There is no
do.
competition for The Onion.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely
We are in a class of our own.
Mm-hmm.
It's lonely. It's very lonely because we're at the top and it's lonely at the top.
My hope is that at some point in our history that there will be competition.
Well, that's not going to happen.
I mean, it won't happen, but in order to raise our game.
Well, you're making a fool of yourself.
I'm sure
We have no competition, so end of story.
making a fool of myself on live television with Dave Holmes.
Listen, I've done it. It's okay. Now, how would somebody go about getting a job at The Onion?
They wouldn't.
If, for example, they wouldn't. You have to find them, huh?
Yes.
Yeah, I think actually, people who love The Onion tend to find The Onion on their own. I mean, to be honest with you, a guy sent me an email out of the blue with headlines, and if somebody sends me a list of headlines, I'll always be tempted to read them.
It was Woody Allen, though, you should know. So we make exceptions, obviously.
Well,
so,
certainly.
Usually we pull from comedy legends: Woody Allen, David Letterman,
Woody Guthrie,
Moliere. The best.
Now, before we go, the election, we're in full swing with the election season. Is that a good time to be around the Onion offices, or are you just living there 24 hours a day, drinking coffee and smoking cigarettes?
I mean, it's certainly busier. I mean,
Yeah.
it's good in terms of comedy. I think it's boom times for comedy, but it's a little bit more work.
Yeah, I think the key, and not to get too serious, but the key is to just do jokes that are original and not that every comedian will be doing. We sort through. I mean, we're going to do some debate stuff tomorrow night, and we'll probably sort through about 70 to 80 headlines before we pick the 3 that we like. So the key is just, I don't know, pick the best ones,
Okay. Good. Please be on this show all the time. You're delightful.
Please.
I have to say, if this is my audition to be one of the hosts, I'm
Great.
down for it.
I don't think you did very well with audition, but
I don't know. What are you getting paid? Like $50 a show?
Something like that.
For $45 a show.
We'll talk about it, Seth.
Yeah.
Thank you very much to Seth and Will from The Onion.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
Still ahead, Matt Farah pimps his ride with $25,000 rims. You could buy you could buy 3 houses in Detroit for that much.
We head to the SEMA Auto Show right after the break. This Veterans Day, G4 salutes the troops with a day-long movie marathon of heroic proportions. See classic war flicks like Memphis Belle, Big Red One, and Three Kings. All day Sunday, right here on G4.
To the SEMA Auto Show to find out what Matt Farah's dream car would look like.
Welcome to Las Vegas in the 2012 SEMA Show. Now, if you're into modifying your car for performance, style, or technology, everything you will need is right here inside that convention center and outside in the parking lot. What I'm going to do today is I'm going to find an engine, some wheels, some suspension, brakes, bring it all together to give you guys my idea of what the perfect SEMA car would look like. Let's go take a walk. For me, my ultimate build would be a pure performance car, so I'm scouring the show floor for the latest in acceleration, braking, and handling technology. My perfect car is quite literally riding on a set of really dope wheels, and I had to find the coolest wheels. The Carbon Revolution CR9 single-piece carbon fiber wheel. Now this thing only weighs 15 pounds. It's structurally as strong, if not stronger, than an aluminum wheel, and very cheap at 15 grand. I'm just kidding, that's really expensive, but I still want them. This is a Goodwin Racing Competition Pro Street engine. It is 650 cubic inches. It makes 1,585 horsepower. It's about the size of a Volkswagen, but in my fantasy car, it will fit. And I will have one. And it's probably $100,000. I have found one of the coolest superchargers money can buy. This is the ProCharger i1 supercharger. Now, most superchargers, you set it up once and that's it. This one, by using this little touchscreen here, you can adjust for touring if you want fuel economy, sport if you want a lot of low-end torque. Now, with my race engine that I'm going to put in my fantasy car, that's 1,500 horsepower. Now, this only supports up to 800 horsepower, and it costs about $8,500 for the complete kit. So what that means is I'm going to need 4 of them, which, given that setup, should give me about 2,500 horsepower. KW DDC setup. It's dynamic damper control. And what that is a full coilover suspension system with a standalone ECU that you actually connect via an app that you download on your iPhone or iPad. And for $4,000, it comes with the kind of technology that you normally have to buy a very expensive sports car to get. When you are going to rein in my theoretical 2,500 horsepower fantasy rolling mobile of death, you want the best brakes the money can buy. And this is the StopTech Trophy Race Kit. It's a 380 millimeter disc, 6-piston front, 4-piston rear caliper, and it'll cost you anywhere from $5,500 to about $7,000 but brakes are worth the money. Buy good brakes if you have a lot of horsepower. Already 135 grand in the hole, I still need to find a car to stuff it all into. I seem to have found the perfect body to install all my parts in. Check this out. This is a storm chaser car. There is no better excuse to going fast than saying to the cops, "Did you see that storm 3 clicks to the west of here? I gotta get there now." And I'm gonna use my 2,500 horsepower, my brakes, my suspension, and my carbon fiber wheels to get to that storm in this ugly ass storm chaser as quickly as humanly possible.
Thanks, Matt. Right now, it's time to start the feed.
All the news you need to know.
The feed.
Happy Election Day, everybody! Yay! It's Tuesday, November 6th, and here are your top voting stories. Now, first, in response to Hurricane Sandy's impact, New Jersey is accepting ballots via email and fax. This sounds a little bit risky to me, considering email services like Google's Gmail actually scan messages, which seems to compromise the whole confidentiality of voting, but at least it gives options to residents who can't reach a polling place. Approved voters have until 8 p.m. Eastern to cast their vote via email or fax, but they must include a signed waiver of secrecy. I guess we'll see how well that works out. Now, next, if you have taken a picture of your completed ballot and plan to post it online, do not! Because you could be charged with a felony. Yeah. In states like Florida, Georgia, Kentucky, Nevada, North Carolina, Texas, and West Virginia, taking photos or videos of your ballot are forbidden. So if you do take a picture and you post it online, you're publishing evidence that you have broken the law. And in some states like Wisconsin, this can add up to a felony with a punishment of up to 18 months in prison or a $10,000 fine. Nobody wants that, so don't do it. But don't rule out social media entirely this election day, because Facebook and Foursquare have launched some pretty cool election maps. Now, both update in real time and are based on polling place check-ins across the country. The Facebook map is complete with a ticker and visual blips that show up as users visit the polls. It also breaks down demographic information like gender and age. Now, Foursquare's map shows similar information, and when you check in, you get an election day badge. Who doesn't want that? An election day badge? Yes. Now, in non-election news, there have also been a ton of rumors surrounding Disney's Star Wars Episode 7. Word is Matthew Vaughn, the director of Kick-Ass and X-Men First Class, is in talks to take over as the director of the new Star Wars film. Now, many are speculating that is the reason he abruptly dropped out of the X-Men sequel a couple weeks ago. Now, like I said, this is just a rumor, but Vaughn is a capable director, and I, for one, would love to see his take on the Star Wars universe. And finally, on top of that news, there has also been talk that Harrison Ford wants to return to the role that made him famous. EW is reporting that all 3 stars of the original trilogy would be interested in reprising their roles, which is awesome. I can only hope this means we will be able to see an old surly Han Solo that gripes at kids to keep off his space lawn. I'm Candace Bailey. You've just been fed. Stay tuned. Funny man and funny book writer Brian Posehn will be here live.
The Feed is brought to you by The General Insurance. For a great low rate you can get online, go to The General and save some time.
Is a comedian, writer, and actor, and for his next trick, he's taken over one of Marvel's biggest comics. Please welcome Brian Posehn! Brian.
They're small but vocal.
Yeah, they are. They're good, aren't they?
Yeah.
We pay them handsomely.
There's only 3 of them, and they sound like 20 people.
Now, one of our very own, Jerry Duggan and yourself, have written Deadpool, the comic, and you're a big fan of comic books.
Yeah, I'm big, and I'm also a fan of comic books. Yeah, I grew up on them. Jerry and I both grew up hanging out in comic stores. He's worked in comic stores. This is like a nerd dream come true for both of us.
Well, I have, it's a nerd, this is number 1, and I'm a bit of a nerd myself, and I'm keeping this, sorry.
Nice.
So there it is there.
I only just saw it 5 minutes ago.
That's what I was going to say. This is the first time you've seen it. And here,
hard copy.
Sign the first one for me, would you? And can we have the plastic bag ready for it when it's done? Because nobody wrinkle my comic.
You got to board it, too, otherwise it's going to get rolling. And
Yeah, you've been to a con before, haven't you?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I love how I do the nerd voice when I say something nerdy.
Go on.
Because I don't want people to know that I'm really, I kind of, I'll do like a nerdy, like I'm not already a nerd.
The thing is, you're not afraid to admit it. You are a true nerd.
Yes.
How long does that, I was going to say, you've been a nerd since you were a kid.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't know I was a nerd till I won a book reading contest at my during the library. It was open during the summer, and so I went every day to this library and read books every day. And then got back to school, and I was like, "Hey, I know how to win everybody over. How many books did you guys read this summer?"
How old were you?
I won like a gift certificate to go to the ice cream store in town from reading the most books, and people are like, "Oh my God, like what is wrong with you?" Like, don't tell people that.
So
that was the beginning. I was 9 years old, and I went, "Oh, I don't fit in."
So you came out of the nerd closet at 9.
Yes.
Awesome.
Pretty much.
Were you at all nervous because Deadpool is it's kind of a popular character? Were you nervous about taking over this?
A little bit. I mean, you know, I'm used to disappointing people because I look like this. No, there was a little bit of that of, you know, I know what it's like to be a fan. And ultimately, Jerry and I are both fans of this book, and we wanted to make a book that we would be happy to read. And I think we've done that, you know. And so if you don't like it, don't tell me. You know. If you see me on the floor of the Comic-Con, go the other way and go, I used to like that guy, but he ruined Deadpool. But keep it to yourself and stay off the internet.
Because you know they will. They will come and tell you.
Yeah, I've already had people go, you know, oh my, I can't wait. Is he going to do this? And I'm like, I can't tell you. You know, just enjoy. Buy the book and shut up.
What I liked about this is it's almost it's going back to kind of
smile after you say something like that.
I know, yeah, because you know they're going to be all over you. Yeah. When this story goes back to like political things, because you know it's presidents who become zombies.
Yeah,
loved it. And nice. I love that. Have you had a lot of interaction with presidents? Is that why you chose this subject?
Oh, it timed out great for today, but yeah, I've only met one. I met Bill Clinton, and I nerded out on him like he was Stan Lee. Like,
have you met Stan Lee?
I have met Stan Lee, and I nerded out the same way as I nerded out on Bill Clinton. But I didn't have to wait in line to meet Stan Lee. I worked on Fantastic Four. Yeah. Name drop. Yeah. You know that movie. I'm the priest. Anyway, one of my proudest moments. But but anyway. Yeah. No line to meet him, but I waited in a line for 3 or 4 hours to meet Bill Clinton. Really nice. And there was this moment, and maybe it was in my head, but I was with another actor, and he like. It was Scott Edsett from 30 Rock.
Yeah.
And there was like a little bit of recognition for both of us when we walked up, and we were both like, "Oh my God, does he watch TV?" You know, like,
maybe.
He didn't. There was no way we could talk to him. It was kind of like sign it and then walk off. Yeah. You know, and I maybe got to. I think I squeaked out, "You're awesome!" You know, like.
Maybe if you wore a dress and a black wig, you might have paid more attention to you. What? Like he? Shut up.
Or Secret Service would have tackled me to the ground.
Maybe I'll wear the dress and the wig then. Listen, I know you have a son.
Yes.
A 3-year-old. Are you going to bring him down the road of nerdom, or are you going to kind of sway him away from it?
No, my wife already says I'm creating a giant nerd because. If he just walks into Daddy's office, it's everywhere. You know, it's been there since he was a baby. He's looks up and sees all the statues, and then, you know, there's thousands of comic books in my office. But I don't do anything in there except read books. But now he's into superheroes, and we wrestle every day, and he's like, well, to get him to calm down because he's a 3-year-old, and you got to get him to mellow out at the end of the night, or you're not going to sleep. So I'll hit him with pillows and stuff, and it's awesome. And he'll say to me, he goes, "Daddy, you be Wolverine and I'll be Batman." And I'm like, well, you know, since I'm a nerd, I'm like, well, those guys are from 2 separate universes. Generally, crossovers don't work. We can play your stupid baby game, you stupid baby, but, you know.
He's not going to have a complex at all, is he?
He's like, "I'm 3, you giant dork. What are you talking about?" Yeah.
Listen, if I were to say to you Star Wars, okay, what's the feeling that goes through your body?
My left arm goes numb.
if I were to say Henson Yoda versus Henson Yoga, what planet am I on? Henson Yoda
Is
versus
that a style of yoga?
It's a new Star Wars character versus CGI Yoda.
Cross legs, I must. Downward dog, you will.
All right, CGI Yoda or Henson Yoda?
We're not even going to talk about it. No. Anybody who thinks the other way is so wrong, and I will beat them up at Comic-Con. I've never fought, but I will punish anybody.
I have to agree with you on that one.
Yeah, it's Henson all the way. When Yoda jumped up and started doing, I know there was nerds that were like, that's awesome, he knows karate. I'm like, he doesn't. I'd much rather see a puppet on Mark Hamill's neck than see this. Anyway, my left arm's going numb again.
Give it up for Brian Posehn, everybody. Deadpool 1 is on sale tomorrow, and you can catch Brian performing live at the Machine Shop in Flint, Michigan this Friday. For more tour dates, go to brianposehn.com. Now over to my TV wife, Candace.
Thank you, John. Coming up, we play Buy, Rent, or Pass with Chris Score's newest batch of DVDs, including The Amazing Spider-Man. Do not go anywhere.
Tomorrow on Attack of the Show. Skateboard legend Tony Hawk grinds his way into the studio with his new documentary, Bones Brigade. Then Matt Meyer rates Digital Storm's gaming laptop, the X17E, with its overclocked i7 processor. Is this a must-buy? Find out on Gachapon. And shake up your martinis. Grace Helbig sits down with the cast of Skyfall, including Javier Bardem, Naomi Harris, and Bond himself, Daniel Craig.
It's Attack of the Show tomorrow at 7.
And now, Weston Scott learns to distill whiskey in Portland because he has the best job ever.
Now, looking around here at the scenery at McMiniman's Cornelius Pass Roadhouse Distillery, you would think you're in some type of fairy tale, or that this path might lead to a gingerbread house. But you know what? For me, it's even cooler. It's a whiskey distillery.
With an impressive collection of brew pubs, microbreweries, and hotels, Portland's own McMiniman's is an alcohol-fueled empire. But it all starts in places like this humble cabin in the woods.
So, Barton, give us a little history on McMiniman's Cornelius Pass Roadhouse Distillery.
This barn is over 150 years old. It was built in 1855, which makes it the oldest agricultural building in Washington County. And this property started out as a farm by the Embry Farmstead in the 1800s. McMiniman's acquired it in 1984. It became a restaurant and a brew pub, and then from there it just kept growing. We have this still that came out of France. It's over 100 years old. Everything's still new here, but everything is old.
I want to know about this whiskey, sir.
Well, this is a wheat-based whiskey. It's clear because it's never seen a barrel. It's completely unaged, kind of like a moonshine would be, but from wheat instead of from corn. Everything comes out of a still clear, and any color that's in a distilled spirit is either from a barrel or from something that's added to it later.
Break out the etiquette here. How should I be properly tasting this whiskey and drinking it?
As far as tasting like other spirits, I think that you should nose it and taste it slowly, and then it's probably best to add a little water to it to bring out some of the flavors and taste it again. But as far as the proper way to drink whiskey, drink it how you like it. If you like ice, you like water, you're going to cover up some of the flavors, but if that's what you like, then that's the way you should drink it.
So you're saying it's okay if you're not a purist with this?
It's absolutely. I don't think there should be rules so much as how you drink your liquor. There's just rules as how you should behave after you've drank your liquor.
It's very clean, and it has a kind of like a light bready taste. Very earthy.
And that would be from the wheat that we use, and that's why we use the wheat. We really like the flavors that we get from this still with the wheat, that breadiness and also the smoothness, and the mouthfeel comes from the wheat. It kind of feels like a full mouthful of whiskey.
Oh, it only gets better. So what's this giant tub, Barton?
This is what we call a mash tun, and this is where all the whiskey starts out, where we take malted barley, mix it with hot water. The hot water activates enzymes in the malt, and those enzymes break starches down into sugars. We're basically just taking long carbohydrate chains, breaking them down into sugars so that the yeast can ferment those and turn them into alcohol. We want to set that mash bed. They call it setting the bed. And you want that to happen. It's very important that it settles out and the grain finds an equilibrium.
Bart, I'm finding this to be very much like an adult Willy Wonka's factory. From your toes to your nose, you can follow the hose. This is where the whiskey goes.
On a brewery, they call this wort. Here we call it wash. But at this point, it's basically the exact same thing that you'd find in a beer brewery. This recipe would make a porter or an English strong ale.
Ah, it's great.
Liquid bread. Okay, so I've hooked up the sparge arm here, which is just a fancy name for a sprinkler head. And that's just basically going to rinse out all of this complicated sugar water that we've been spending all day making so that we get the maximum amount of sugar out of this grain bed.
The wash is done. It's coming through here and then filling up into this tank.
And during this process, you can see I'm bubbling oxygen into it. The oxygen helps the yeast cells to reproduce.
So how long will this tank stay filled?
And it'll ferment for about 4 days. And during that time, those sugars will all be converted to alcohol. The yeast will finish its job and settle to the bottom. And then what we get is a good, clean, fermented wash. We'll do 3 distillations and collect those 3 distillations, run them through the still for a second time. So the 4th day of the week would be what we call a high wine run. We'll collect that high wine. It is eventually what becomes the finished product. What makes this a Charente Alembic still is the shape and the proportions of this onion, pot, and its swan neck. Those are all crucial pieces to the puzzle.
Now, do the shapes affect the taste at all?
Absolutely. Every bit of the shape affects the flavor, and in a Scotch distillery, when they repair the pots that have been in use for sometimes 600 years, the coppersmith will actually reproduce dents because it is believed that even just that dent can affect the flavor.
So this is your favorite room, Barton?
This is my favorite room. You've been talking about smells all day, and the smells that come out of here are my favorite. You get the vanilla and the oak flavors. It smells more like a finished whiskey.
Oh.
And you can see how this has picked up a lot of color from the barrel. It's no longer clear.
Barton, this color is totally different than the White Owl.
Absolutely, and that's all from the barrel. That charring process I was talking about caramelizes sugars in the wood, and then those caramels dissolve into the whiskey and give it that caramely color and also the sweetness. You're gonna find some vanilla notes to it, some spicy notes to it that you didn't see in the White Owl. Well, cheers. That's a good day's work.
I'm tasting oaky vanilla overtone. That is delicious. Well, I've learned how to make whiskey now. I've learned how to drink it properly, and I've learned that whiskey supposedly means the water of life. I'm more dehydrated than I've ever been. I'm making whiskey. Or am I making magic?
New DVDs coming at ya. Welcome back, film expert Chris Gore. Chris Gore, how are you?
I'm here to chew bubblegum and review DVDs, and I'm all out of bubblegum. So let's go.
Let's do it.
Let's go.
All right, what's up first?
The Amazing Spider-Man.
All right, what did you think of Mark Webb's Spider-Man reboot?
I didn't love it.
Really?
I did not love it. No, I felt it was a little too soon to reboot the Spider-Man franchise. After like 2 of the Tobey Maguire films. And I also feel they kind of poochified Peter Parker and made him hip and cool and not a nerd. I mean, he rides a skateboard and he's awesome. Poochie, a reference to Itchy and Scratchy, the Simpsons thing. And that's how they had Poochie, right, is like the hip, cool thing to whenever they do. Yeah. Anyways, so that's what I feel they did to the character. It kind of betrays the character from the comic. And I'm not against a reboot. You know, I like the idea of, you know, they do that in comics all the time. There'll be this team, you know, Kirby and Stan Lee do a comic for 100 issues, then someone else takes it over. That's cool. In this one, I just feel like it didn't feel like a Spider-Man movie the way I liked it.
See, I really liked it. I thought Mark Webb was a great director, and I think the acting is a million times better.
I will give you that. I'm a big fan of Mark Webb.
Yeah,
I mean, 500 Days of Summer is amazing. I think that he was probably rushed something. And also, I do know for a fact that they had to rush and get it done so they could hold on to the rights. But I kind of feel like Marvel and Disney, they've done a pretty good job with the Marvel characters. I kind of would love to see Spider-Man be a part of that universe.
Yeah.
If there's a way, if they can't get the rights, Sony, Marvel, Disney, let's get together and talk. If Star Wars can do it, you can too. Spider-Man, let's get him in there.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Now, the disc is loaded with extras. Is there anything that stood out to you?
I don't know. I didn't love the movie, so the extras were kind of like, I just feel they were constantly making choices that I didn't agree with.
Okay.
And I was totally irritated by this Branzino thing. Was this movie written by a foodie? This Branzino fish reference throughout the film was just sort of annoying. Anyways, the extras they're plentiful, and I was bored.
Okay, so bottom line?
Pass.
I know this is your TV Tuesday, but I'm going to disagree, and I would say Rent.
I respect your opinion.
Thank you.
I respect your opinion,
yours.
Candace.
What's our next DVD?
Next DVD is They Live.
Now, I have never seen this film. What is it about?
Okay, well, it's set in the 80s. There's a lot of disparity between the rich and the poor. It's Reagan era. And Roddy Piper's like this. Roddy Piper's a wrestler. He's a wrestler in real life, but he's homeless in this. He gets a pair of these weird glasses that allows him to see the world as it really is. Sees the messages on billboards, sees how we're being sold these consumer products we don't need, and sees that all the rich people are aliens.
Well,
which it's awesome. We've all been hypnotized. And it has one of the best fight scenes ever, and it goes on for 10 full minutes, this fight scene. And on the commentary, John Carpenter talks about how he just had a blank page of script, and all it said was, they fight. The next page, they keep fighting. Next page, they keep fighting. So awesome.
So much fight.
Stuff I never knew about this film. It's a classic.
Okay, so what's the bottom line?
Bottom line is buy it. Buy that DVD.
All right, what else do you have to check out?
We have You Can't Do That on Film.
Now, I know a lot about being slimed from my time at Nickelodeon, but I was not allowed to watch You Can't Do That on television growing up because the kids backtalk to adults.
For real? You were not allowed?
No, not allowed.
That's weird. Well, this is a documentary.
That's a documentary of the show.
It's a documentary about the show, which, I mean, it played all through the 80s. It's a Canadian classic TV show. And
I snuck it on occasion.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Sliming came from this show.
I know.
This is made by a fan for a fan. It's the ultimate. It's a double disc set, this DVD. It has interviews with everybody, including Alanis Morissette, you know, all the people from the show, behind the scenes of the reunion. It is, if you're a fan of the original show, you absolutely must get this.
Okay,
Interviews
so
with the creator, Roger Price. Bottom line is rent it. Buy it if you're a fan.
Buy it.
Buy it if you're a fan, yeah.
All right, we've got one more.
One more is Steve Jobs' The Lost Interview.
Now, any insights into Steve Jobs from this interview that was lost for 17 years?
Not really.
No?
To be honest, yeah. I mean, he talks about the GUI, graphic user interface. He talks about a lot of stuff that we already knew, you know. Microsoft has no taste. This documentary is an hour, 10-minute interview that was taken from a VHS tape, and I've heard him say a lot of this stuff before. I'd rather read the PDF file of the transcript of the interview than see the movie.
Watch it?
Yeah.
Okay, bottom line?
Pass. All right. I'm saving you time.
That was a fast pass.
I'm saving you time, folks.
All right.
It's my job.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you.
For more Gore, check out his Podcrash podcast on iTunes.
I think I'll hit Spider-Man.
You'll hit it?
Yeah. I think I'll watch it.
You'll watch it or you'll hit it?
No, that's my word for watching it.
Oh,
I'm gonna hit it.
That's what
and
that
also,
means?
They Live looks really awesome.
That also means something else.
Does it?
Yes.
Oh, it
You're
must
gonna
be
hit
something.
that?
I'm sorry, that's something different we mean than in Britain. Did I just do? Oh well,
I don't know what to do with you.
I'm just gonna hit everybody today.
Hey, hitting all around, yo. Thanks to Brian Posehn, Chris Gore, Matt Farah, and Weston Scott, and always John Barrowman.
Yeah.
Adore.
And that's me, and I'm off to hit it.